Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to go ahead and discuss what not to do for MA Economics entrance exam. Let's get straight into it. So first, do not study from too many books. I have seen people, for example, for microeconomics, doing Varian, Mankiw, Snyder, and R. Gupta and 1,000 books. Not required. Do one book, but do it thoroughly. One book is sufficient for you to clear all your concepts. You do not have to pick up on 10 different books. Second, don't go by volume of question. If you think that, I have to do 100 questions in a day, 200 questions in a day, no, that is not what is required. You give your time to 5 questions. Maybe you take 30 minutes each question. Maybe you take 50 minutes each question. That is fine. But you understand these questions completely. For example, an ISI and a DSE question in the first time may take half an hour to 1 hour for you to understand. It is okay. But you have to do those questions so thoroughly that tomorrow, if they change the wording or they change the numbers or they just rotate the question a bit, you should be able to solve the question. Third, don't skip on the past year papers. You have to solve all the past year questions. At least for DSE, ISI, IIT JAM, all these you have to solve the past year questions. You should, by the end, when you are starting your revision, you should have booklets with you that this is my booklet of the past 10 years DSE exam question by question. This is my booklet of the past 2 exams of IIT JAM. This is my booklet of the past 10-year exams of ISI. Completely practiced, not one time, not two times, five times. Next. Your aim is not to score 100%. And since it is not your aim to score 100%, you should always do selective studying. This is something which I tell students a lot of time. For example, when you go to ISI paper or DSE paper, you will see that some of the international trade models are never asked in exam. Never ever. So you don't have to waste your time on that. You know that solo model is always asked in exam. You have to study that properly. So selective studying is important. Some of the extreme trade models only come, for a very low weightage and for a very less number of times. You don't have to, just because it came once in the exam, have to spend hours doing that. So selective studying is super important. Then don't read maths. Practice maths. So a lot of students, what I have seen is they will open the book of Hammond and they will just start going through the concepts and they will say we have done it. No, maths can only come from practice. The more you practice, the better you will be. Do as many questions as possible for maths. Don't just read the concepts of maths. That is not what is required. Don't study a single subject. So a lot of times what I have seen is some students will say that, I am from non-economics background. And they will spend their entire time on macro. Some will say I'm from economics background. They will spend their entire time on just mathematics. Some will say that I am, I non-economics, engineering background, I know maths, I know stats, I don't know micro. And they will only do that subject throughout the year. No. Even if you know some subjects and you don't know others, you don't have to neglect the subjects you already know. You should prepare a timetable. So for example, if you know currently we are going for our new session with micro and maths because they are the most important subjects, you have to prepare a timetable that, because every week we have 4 to 6 hours of this, we should be going through this in a timetable. Monday, I will dedicate 1.5 hours to maths and 1 hour to micro. Tuesday, I will do this. Wednesday, I will do this. This has to be prepared. And this is going to go from my April to, let's say, July. Then I will flip the subjects. Then I will do stats and macro. Are you getting it? This has to be the approach. Don't look for solutions beforehand. I have seen a lot of students have this tendency. So for example, when we give you an assignment and then we post the corresponding solutions of the assignment, people will directly look out for the solution, see the question, see how the answer looks like, and done. This is not the way to practice. You should first try all these questions yourself. If you are stuck, give one more try, give another try, then look at the answers. And I'm saying answer, not complete solution. See what the answer is, then try it yourself. Even then, if you're not able to get it, then go through the stepwise concepts. Do not directly jump onto the solution and think, okay, this is how it is solved, I will be able to solve it. No. Look for solved examples. So whenever you read a concept, for example, you read a concept of oligopoly, that in Cournot model, you have to simultaneously determine the quantity. Now you have read this concept. Then what should be your next step? The next step should be that you look into the solved examples, at least 2 to 4, on how they determined Q1 star and Q2 star. Then what will be your next step? You will do unsolved examples or questions from your assignment on the same topic. Then what will be your step? You will pick up on the past years, look at the questions on Cournot model. I think so it came in one of the IIT paper also, and solve those past years. Then you can assume that you know the Cournot model well. And do different types here. So for example, one of the question that comes is, what happens if the firms will merge? If the firms will merge, they will form a monopoly. If they form a monopoly, what will be Q star? What will be pi star? What will be P star? So these solved examples should cover all the possible scenarios for you to practice. Then the unsolved examples will help you practice it further, and then you will go through the past year questions. Okay. The next is, don't revise at the end. Start early, revise early. It should not be the case that if your entrance exam of IIT is in Feb, for example, this is where the exams begin, you're revising in Jan. This is not a good approach to follow. So for example, if from April to June, you have covered micro and maths, then you should start your revision of micro from June onwards. If from June to August, you have done your stats plus macro, then your revision of stats and macro will start from August onwards. By August, you should be revising 4 subjects together. By the month of October, you should be only practicing mock tests. then whatever is your weak point here, you should be practicing on that at the end of, November, December. This Jan and Feb is only the final revision. This should not be your first revision. So these are few of the points that I wanted to highlight. These are the things which you should not be doing for your upcoming Masters in Economics entrance exams. Best of luck. Thank you.